Hello and welcome to Caching Waves. This is an Elliott Wave update for LDO Lido DAO. Now looking at this chart, you can see there's not a lot of price history, but if you bring it up on CoinMarketCap, there was a high at 625 back in August of 2021. So keeping that in mind for possible resistance areas in the chart. Now going with linear price scale for my targets. So my target on the 3rd of the 3rd here is going to be $4.60 with eventual targets above $6 for a clean 5 waves up. But we have the possibility of a series of nested 1-2s, up to 5 of them on the micro. So there is the option we get pretty impulsive here, but for trading purposes, just relying on these closer targets, the more traditional ones. Going down to the 4 hour, if you watch my previous video, we're already in this trade. Bought the 50 of this potential 4th 1-2, and we've rejected pretty nicely right at the 50% retracement, or between 225 and 234. And I'll show you that entry in a second on my exchange. But keep in mind, this is the 4th 1-2 and potentially the 5th 1-2 in a row. My original entry was the other day here on the 26th. Go to the 15-minute. Saw this nice 5-wave move to the upside. Threw on our fibs for our first 1-2 and bought just above it. I had some family stuff to do for Christmas and whatnot, so I just market bought, put the stop at 198.2, and we rejected very quickly after that fact, targeting 460. I've now moved my stop to that previous pivot, the new 1-2, and this trade potentially is only risking, let me go back to the trade journal. There's now only $22.93 risk on this, and I just added another position with that extra $77.07 of new available capital. If you're new to the channel account is 10,000, and we can risk a maximum of $100 per trade. And to add to our entry, we need to free up capital, which we did there. We now have $77.07 to add to this position. Being confident in this trade setup and following the rules of Elliott Wave, if this is a 5th 1-2, we cannot break this pivot. So trading according to that analysis. Now the question on this potential 5th 1-2, down on the 5-minute, is where is our high? If we're very bullish, we'd expect the high to be here. You can see divergence. The peak of our RSI was actually here, which is usually in the 3rd of a 3rd. So this could be our 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And this could be a running flat. We get a 3, 3, quick 5 sell off, and we take off to the upside. If I was scalping, I would probably take this trade setup because it's really good. It would be something like this, stop at that previous low, which is very close, targeting $4.60. So if you're on a scalp level, really tight stop, I mean, you're looking at a 60-1. That's why those tight entries can make you a lot of money, but your chances of winning them goes down, right? Profit goes up, but chances of being right goes down because you don't allow a lot of options to what can happen in the market. So the question is the one here or is the one there? If you want to play it as a regular 1-2, you expect a ABC most of the time. So I pulled a pivot there from the 5th 1-2, and our range of buying is between the 382 and the 618. Traditionally, when I enter, I buy a 3rd at each level, so between $2.57 and $2.74. My average price would be the 50% retracement at $2.65, and I'd take a 3rd at each, so basically $33.33 on $100 risk. So we'll see if we get this ABC, but I actually just entered right now. I have no problem waiting through this. I'm okay with that. I just want to have the option of if this is a running flat, I don't miss that trade. And again, it's not a lot more position size for me to get at this moment. So I'm comfortable with this trade setup and reading this as the 1-2 here. I can obviously be proven wrong. All we need is this ABC, and then move to the upside. You get a little bit better entry, a little more position size, but I've got to go in a little bit, and I don't want to be worrying about missing this one. So standard, I just buy average price at the 50, somewhere in this area. But another thing you can do is wait for a breakout if you're a breakout trader. But you have to keep in mind that stop has to go at this low rather than the previous low. Reason for that is this could all be a running flat in itself, like so, in the middle of a B wave. So I think the safest bet myself here is just to buy here, stop at that low at $2.30, and I put it one tick below the pivot, and so I go $2.30 and 6 rather than 7 there. And my trade setup was 3.6 to 1. Show you that on my trade journal. I had $77 extra risk. This is my manual position size. I bought another 150 LDO. There was my entries. Let's make that a couple more decimal points. There we go. Now you can see them. So going back to my exchange, so I've now pushed my position from 250 LDO to 400. I have 2 stop losses on. Just so we can see each position size. It's not showing my max risk, but I did calculate it out, and it was exactly 150 at those stop levels for $77 risk. So back to this trade setup. As you can see, we can get quite extended if this is actually 5 1-2s in a row. Nothing says it has to be, but there's my entries. Either buy here, anticipating this, or wait for an ABC. But in my trade setups, my lows are going to stay at this pivot, just so I allow the most amount of corrections to fill out here. So the tighter your stop, the less corrections you allow to play out, right? So I'm fine with this one. I'm now in both setups, and my average price between the both entries currently is, let me see that here on the exchange, average entry price $2.54.74. So that's my average entry price right in the middle. All right, guys, that's it for this one. If you want to check out my other trades, I post them all on the channel. Currently live in all of these at the moment. You can see the tickers here on the left. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Have a good one.